So we have 3 now.
3. Okay.
So I'm starting the recording, so you can start now. So
All
I've
right.
started the recording.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Uh, well, uh, well, let me first of all apologize for the delay, change in time, and probably the sudden announcement of time. But I believe some ordinarily should just have been prepared for this, since I sent in a voice note that definitely this Saturday is sacrosanct, and so many people responded to that. And interestingly, I was even expecting 1 or 2 people to have reminded me that okay, or to have posted it there to ask us questions. But regardless, anyway, this is a record session, and we are going to share it later with those who miss it. So quickly, Mr. Olalekon is here. Well, he's going to be taking us through the part A or part 1 of MCE, looking at 21st century learning design. That's what we're going to do. And then on Wednesday, I think the same time on Wednesday, I guess Mr. Olalekon, if there's any change in time, we'll communicate that he will be going through the second part. And please, as soon as you go through this, let me quickly make it an announcement. Please indicate that you are ready for your examination, and we're going to give you the time you're going to be available, and you will do your examination and have your certificate immediately. So I'm going to hand over now to Mr. Lalikon to continue while I go to the WhatsApp to see if I can get more people sensitized. Welcome, sir.
All right, good evening, everyone, once again. I'll also start by saying sorry for the change in dates and all that. We've actually been extremely busy, especially this last week. But regardless, we are starting the first leg of the training today. So this is the complete agenda, both for today and Wednesday. So we want to look at, I'm not sure we need to talk about the purpose of the meeting again. Mr. Opefa already set the tone. So the next thing is action plans for our MC certification. So what are those things that we need to ensure that we take cognizance of before writing our exam? And then we'll look at the 21st century learning design, uh, which is about the most important course, really, which is about the most important course that we need to take before preparing for our exam. And then we'll talk about exam dates and questions. So don't mind me, I have this written twice here. So we need to talk about the exam date, when you can actually write your exam, and if you have any other question after the training. So these are basically what we'll be looking at this evening. The session is being recorded, so it means that others will be able to watch, and even if you want to rewatch the session at the end of the day, you can watch the session again, maybe for clearer perspective and understanding of what you're supposed to do to prepare for the exam. Okay, so I will go over now and share like the syllabus, those things that you need to you must have completed before you say you want to write your Microsoft Certified Educator exam, which is actually teaching for technology exam. So this is like the study guide. This is what you need to go through before you can say you want to write your exam. So needless to add, we're just going to spend about 1 hour here. So I started around 6:15. By 7:15, we should be done with the session so that we can still enjoy our weekend. Okay, so I'll go back to the study guide. This is the Microsoft Certified Educator Study Guide, preparing for success. So what are the things that you need to do before writing the exam? What are the topics that you must ensure that you must have covered before writing the exam? So those are
It's
the things
cracking.
that
I
are...
could hear you before, but it's cracking now.
Hello, can you hear me now?
It's
Hello?
clear. It's clear. Please, well, no, check your
Yes.
speaker and check your network. It's clear.
Okay.
Mr. Olalekon, you can continue.
So there are some courses that you need to take before writing the exam. And where can you take that course? You can take the course on Microsoft Educator Center, and that is through education.microsoft.com. Although at the moment there is a kind of realignment, they're trying to migrate Microsoft Educator Center to Microsoft Learn. So if education.microsoft.com is not going through, you can just try learn.microsoft.com. So you have all the courses that I'll be talking about here on such platforms that you can take the courses. So about the most important course that you need to take if you're on this call now, or you're preparing to write your MCE and you haven't taken this course, I tell you, you need to take this course. It is very, very important because 21st century learning design covers about 80% of the questions. So you need to understand the 21st century learning design. Although we are still going to look at 21st century learning design together on Wednesday, but at least we won't be able to like cover everything from A to Z. But I'll be able to show you those things that you need to understand the 21st century learning design course. But nothing stops you from taking the course of Microsoft Educator Center. So number one course is you need to take your 21st century learning design course. It's will open your eyes to collaboration skills, skill communication, knowledge construction, self-regulation, real-world problem solving and innovation, and the use of ICT for learning. And this will not just be like a theoretical approach. It will also show you classroom cases so that you can understand how to actually use all this learning design in your classes, and you will see case scenario while you're taking the course so that you'll be able to understand what it means to really say that yes, you're practicing collaboration in your class, or your knowledge construction is part of what you do in your class. A lot of us are doing all these things and we feel yes, because I'm able to like do this in my class. Yes, I am practicing collaboration, I'm practicing skill communication, but at what to what extent? So what level have you been operating? So it will show you the rubrics from stage 1 to stage 4 or stage 5, depending on the last stage on each of the skills, so that you know where you're operating from. Many of us probably we're operating on level 1 or level 2, and we're saying, yes, we're doing everything as regards the 21st century learning design. We need to understand that other things are there that you need to take cognizance of while you're trying to use all those things in your class. So this course is very, very important. The 21st century learning design course. We need to take this course. It's a collection of 8 courses. We need to complete this course. Even if you are not writing MC, it's one course that will encourage all educators, whether you're teaching early childhood or primary or secondary, or even tertiary in the tertiary institutions, our lecturers, our professors too, they need to take this course so that they can understand what it means to really operate as an educator in the 21st century. So that is about the most important course that we need to take. I'm not sure we've dropped this guide in the WhatsApp chat. I'll check again and double check and probably put it there if it is not there so that we'll know what to do. That is number one course. The number two course that we also need to take is this OneNote Teacher Academy course, because some of the questions will focus on how well we understand the use of OneNote class. We have OneNote and we also have OneNote class notebooks. So we need to understand how to use OneNote, how to do all these things. So there is another course called OneNote Teacher Academy. So if you're there and you're not familiar with OneNote, you might want to take this course or get yourself familiar with OneNote, not just the OneNote, but also the OneNote class, so that you'll be able to understand how to use OneNote in the class. OneNote is really, really cool application. I guess before the introduction of 365 Teams and some other things, OneNote used to be one of my favorite. It's still one of the favorite, but not just one there now. OneNote is really cool in that as a teacher, you can easily distribute notes to all the students and mark their notes with a single click, and you can access all your student content from your own OneNote, and then share contents, promote collaboration, and all the things. So OneNote Teacher Academy is another course that you can take on Mac or on learn.microsoft.com. Thank you, Mr. Alpefa. He's been able to share this on the chat now. I saw the pop-up. The other course that you also need to take is the Office 365 Teacher Academy. Office 365 is like Microsoft Baby, and about one very important app not just one app now, a collection of apps that people use, especially in education or workspace now. So Office 365, before you can write your MC, you need to understand Office 365, understand the various apps that make up the Office 365, how to use Teams, how to use Sway, how to use forms. You need to know what OneDrive is. You need to know what you can do with form and some other things, streams. You need to understand all those. So just like it is written here, understanding the basics of Office 365, including Sway, Forms, OneDrive, collaboration using Office and Microsoft Teams. So all these are critical components of passing your MCE exam in that they bring up questions, they bring up case scenarios. I take, for example, they say, okay, as a teacher, you're trying to assess your students now, and you want a situation whereby as they turn in their responses, you already have like analytics of what if their responses. So what kind of application can you use? Maybe you now have options like Sway, Forms, OneDrive, OneNote. So that should point you in the right direction and say probably that is Forms. Okay, so that is the reason why you need to understand the Office 365. You need to understand all the apps that make up the Office 365 and how well you use all these apps in the class. So you want to know what you can do with Sway. With Sway, you want to create like a small blog, or you want to create like a newsletter, a mini website for your student, for your school. So you use Sway. You want to create quiz, you want to create surveys, forms, you use form. You want to keep your files online. You don't just want to keep your files on your computer system. Anything can happen to files kept on computer systems. Your system can get damaged, it could get lost. But when you keep your vital information on OneDrive, all you need to do is just to get lay your hands on a mobile phone on a computer system with internet, and then you'll be able to log into your OneDrive and keep your file. So you need to understand what you can do with OneDrive, right? You also need to understand what you can do with Microsoft Teams. We've talked a lot about Microsoft Teams. It's for remote access. With your Microsoft Teams, you want to put students in different classes. They want to write. You want to give them an assignment. You want them to encourage. You want to encourage them to use the Teams to chat and do other things. You want to know what PowerPoint is. So I mean, what Microsoft Teams is all about. You also want to know what you can do with PowerPoint, right? You want to know what you can do with Microsoft Word, with Excel, some other applications attached to Microsoft 365. So if you take this particular course, the Office 365 Teacher Academy, it's a course that will expose you to all the applications that make up Office 365 and how well teachers can use all these applications in the class. So it will show you how you can use all this application in the class. So that is why it is the Office 365 Teacher Academy. They use Office 365 in banks. I remember when we had program with Union Bank, we're always using Teams for their meetings and some other things. So you've got banks that use Office 365. You've got businesses, the companies, they use Office 365. But this particular course will not just talk about Office 365 as Office 365. It will talk about Office 365 as it affects teachers and how teachers use Office 365 in the class. So it will also expose you to OneNote, the Office Online, meaning how people can actually collaborate using Microsoft Office Online. I can create a PowerPoint file online now, and all of us will be working on that file at the same time. Maybe while I'm creating the opening slide on slide 1, somebody else is adding something on slide 2, another person is adding something on slide 3, or maybe as a teacher now, as an English teacher that I teach English, for example, maybe want to encourage our students to work together to write a storybook. So we can create a Microsoft Word document and all of us can be writing on each of the pages at the same time. So you want to understand how to use all this. And also Microsoft Teams, again, I'm back at Microsoft Teams. There are some new features. There are some new things that have been added to Microsoft Teams that I know now the new Microsoft Certified Educator exam will probably they will probably draw questions from these new features, and they are talking about reading progress. So you might want to take this course so that you get refreshed, you know about all these things. So that is another course that we need to take, Office 365 Teacher Academy. The next one is Minecraft. The next one is Minecraft. Minecraft is one nice application that students around the globe love now. If you're talking about gamification, you're talking about encouraging students to learn using games, especially STEM subjects, physics, chemistry, biology, computer, geography, history. You want to teach all the subjects, you can use Minecraft to teach all the subjects. So they will probably ask you questions from Minecraft too. But I tell you, the question drawn from Minecraft are not going to be too technical. It's not as if they want you to now write the codes or want you to create world using Minecraft. They just want you to know what Minecraft is all about and what you can do with Minecraft. They probably just ask questions. Maybe they're talking about how do you use games in the class, and they want you to choose an application that suits gamification in the class, for example. So you know that is your Minecraft. So you might want to just take a look at that course too. And also there is a make code. There is a make code. Make code is the app. We use make code to write um, what do you call it now? Microbits, codes, and some other things. So it supports STEM skills really. So we need to understand what make code is all about. Similar to Minecraft, they are not going to ask you to write the codes really. They just want you to know what make code is used for. So the question will just be around what can you do with make code. Maybe they write questions there and say, okay, as a teacher now, you're trying to introduce your student to my microbit, for example. So what application will you use to code your microbits? So maybe that's like a question now. So you know you're talking about make code. Okay, so you might want to take this make code course too. And about the second to the last course here is the Windows 10. Windows 10. This particular course, if you're familiar with your computer system, I would say you can skip it. If you're familiar with your Windows 10 laptop, you can skip it. But if, for example, you're still using Windows 7 or you're still using Windows 8 or Windows 8.1, then you might need to take this course. So Windows 10 is just, maybe they'll ask you, how can you change your screensaver, your background. They ask question about your tax bar and some other things. So they want you to be able to understand how to use your Windows 10 very well. Now that they've introduced Windows 11, I'm not sure they've effected that change in their MCE, but we now have Windows 11, so that just you know. So it's possible that we even have Windows 11 listed among the courses on Make Now or Learn. So that's another course that you need to take. Okay. And the last course listed here is the inclusive classroom course, the inclusive classroom course. I said it in the beginning of the session that even if you're not writing MCE, you're not writing any exam, I'll still encourage us to take all these courses. I'll still encourage us to take all these courses for us to get better as educators, for us to understand what it means when you talk about inclusive classroom, we talk about equality, equity or equality or whatever we call it. So we want to ensure that we do our job the best way we can as educators in the class. So this particular course is one of the courses, the inclusive classroom. So with this course now, you're going to use Windows-based application like Office together with other assistive technology. This is when we talk about Immersive Reader. This is when we talk about what Immersive Reader is all about. This is where you talk about other accessibility applications out there that can aid student learning. So you want, how do they use Immersive Reader, for example? So Immersive Reader, you introduce that in the class. So Immersive Reader can read out notes to students, can break words into syllables, can identify the various part of speech, and you can increase the font size. So that's one application that promotes inclusive classroom. Talk about how do you use a Immersive Reader. You talk about how you use your reading coach or your reading progress. You talk about how you use what else is there? Dictate, for example. Dictate is another application that I love so much. So in case I'm tired and I need to write like 10 pages of notes, all I need to do is just to put on my dictate and I continue to talk. As I talk, Microsoft Word or my PowerPoint or my OneNote will just start filling up the spaces using the dictate. So the text will just be appearing as I talk. So those are some of the apps that promote inclusive learning. There are other apps too. So this particular course will open your eyes to all those applications that you can use in to promote inclusiveness in the classes. So this is about the last course here. So all these are courses that we should take while preparing for our MCE. If you are able to take all these courses, I bet there's no way you fail the exam. So you just need to plan yourself and take these courses. Out of all the courses on my screen that as I'm scrolling up and down, this is the one that will probably take a lion chunk of our time, this 21st century learning design. Other courses, you can even finish them in 2 hours, 1 hour, and then you're done. But this 21st century learning design, it's an 8 learning path course. So we need to like take the courses. Just like I said earlier, on Wednesday, we're going to look at 21st century learning design because I said it covers about 80% of the questions in the exam. So we'll look at the 21st century learning design together. I'll show you what you need to focus on when you're preparing for the exam. And that's about the study guide. So this is the study guide. I'll drop this PDF. I'm sure I know Mr. Okwefa is been sharing the links to the courses for us to just go there after the session and then take the courses. That is the first thing that I'll be doing this evening, going through the MCE study guide. So this is the study guide. So let me just pause for 1 or 2 minutes before moving on. Okay, so let me get feedback from us in case you have any questions about what I've done so far. Any questions surrounding the study guide before I move on to something else. So any question, if you have any question, just raise up your hand and I'll call your name so that you can unmute and ask your question. If there's no question, we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, I'll just wait for a minute, 60, 59, 58. Any questions so far from the study guide? Any question? Okay, I'll take it that there is no question. Okay, all correct. So we've looked at the action plan, which is the MC study guide. So when we're done with the study guide, that is the first leg. When we're done with the study guide, the next thing is we also want to still practice. We want to ensure that we practice and we practice and we practice using some of the videos that have been shared by Mr. Kwefa. I will also share a personal video. The video covers the real exam. So it covers the real exam and you will see the questions and then you also see the options that were selected. The person that wrote this exam, I guided this person, I monitored this person when the person was writing the exam. The person got, I think, 850 or so. And the cutoff mark is 700. The cutoff mark is 700. So this person got 850. So I'm saying if you can watch this video, I just posted the video, the link to the video in the chat thread. If you can watch this video, then I bet that you're good to go. So if you can watch this video, is it the link to the video? I'm coming. Let me confirm again. The link to the video. Yes. So loading up. Oh, not please, not the link that I just shared. Let's just ignore the link I shared. I will reshare the correct link now. Ignore the link that I shared. So I'll share the correct link now. Share. Okay. So I'll post the link now. So just ignore this. Let me even see if I can delete it. Okay, I've deleted that. So I've posted the correct link. I've posted the correct link. So this is the link to the video that I mentioned. This video is a real exam video. It's a real exam video that we can watch to prepare for the exam. So let me just show you what uh, you get when you watch that video. It's about just 40 something minutes. It's worth the time, because if you're able to, this is the video, for example. So it's showing us the different parts. Okay, it's yes, the video is just about 40, yeah, 51 minutes. So you have different parts. The first part is showing us the question 1 of 3. So you have question 1 of 3, and then you have another 1 of 6 or 1 of 7, and then you have 1 of 30. In total, you have about 40 questions. Overall, you have 40 questions, and you have an hour to complete the exam. So the exam period is an hour, and you have 40 questions. And you have 40 questions. So take, for example, what you have on the screen now, it's the sample question. So it's showing you the question, and it's showing you the question case here, where you can actually scroll here and read up. You see that you also have the rubrics for your 21st century learning design. It's like an open book exam, sort of. So some people are just unnecessarily afraid of the exam. It's not that difficult if you've prepared, because you also have like your book sort of here. So this is like a question. You need to access this project against the 21st century, real world problem solving and innovation. So what level does this project meet? So this is like a sample question. This also is another question. Students have learning goals. So when you watch this video, you watch the videos, you'll be sure that you're already looking at the real exam. It's possible that you even come across like 50, 60% of the questions in this video in your own exam. So it's like you're having your exam before the exam. So that is what it means. So this video, it's like a game changer. You already have like access to the questions before the exam. So you can watch this video, and when you're done watching this video, you're sure that yes, I am well prepared for the exam. So let's take our time. Don't let us just ignore it or skip past it and say, no, I don't want to waste my data. So please waste your 500 naira worth of data than wasting your 15,000 naira for the exam voucher. Really, it has been highly subsidized. So let's make use of that opportunity and write our exam and come out in flying colors. Trusting that you come out in flying colors, really. So this is the video. I've dropped the link to the video. You can download it, keep it offline on your phone or your computer system. If you're less busy in school, just sit somewhere and watch maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Before you know it, you're done with the entire 51 minutes. And don't just cram the questions and answer. Please just make sure you follow through what you see on the screen and understand what is going on. Okay, so I want to encourage that we do this before taking the courses. Let us complete the courses before trying out the past questions, really. Please, let's do that. I know students, when we see past questions, we just ignore the textbooks and just focus solely on the past questions and use that to prepare for the exam. But please, let's go through the courses, not because of the exam. I keep saying that, not just because of the exam, but because we want to understand how to be better at what we do in the class. We want to get better as teachers in the class, really. So let's take the course, and after the course, we can then come back and watch the video. We can come back and watch the video after taking the courses. Okay. Um, Aside all this, we just need to be prepared for the exam, in that the most important thing to take note of on the exam date is your time. If you want to read up all the questions, if you want to read all questions, all options, all case scenarios, I bet you can never finish the exam. You will run out of time. If you want to read up the questions, this is what I mean. I'll show you. Let me show you the video again and show you the question. Okay, take for example, look at this question on my screen now. You suggest a learning activity that uses blah blah blah, and you have all these, and you have the question, and you have the option. If you want to read all these things on the screen for all the questions, there is no way you finish the exam before you run out of time. So what am I saying? The first thing that you need to do before you even come up here and read the case is to look for the question itself. Know what the question is all about. I tell you, at times you won't even need to go over and read the case or the stories. Mere reading the questions and you look at the options, you can see that, yes, this is my answer. Take, for example, this question. This is the question itself. You evaluate the new learning activity based on the 24 CLD skilled communication rubrics. So I know that they are talking about 21st century skilled communication rubrics. And for me, as somebody that I've prepared for the exam, I already have all the 21st century skilled communication rubrics. I have it stored here in my head. So I know what we're talking about. Okay, so this is the question. Then you can then go back and try to understand if you still couldn't figure out the answer after reading the question. So that's just what I'm saying. If you want to read and read everything, you run out of time, because again, time is the enemy in this exam. It's not even that you don't know the answer. It is more majorly for people, it's because they couldn't manage the time very, very well. So the time is very, very important. We need to learn how to manage the time. The last set of exams we wrote, somebody was able to just answer 7 questions out of 40. Somebody was able to answer just 7 questions before he ran out of time, because he took his time. He was just reading everything as if he was reading a novel, and he was enjoying himself. And before he could say Jack, the time was up. So we need to learn how to finish the exam, read up be strategic about it, so that we'll be able to finish the exam in time. I would be able to work with time. Time is essential. If possible, get yourself a wristwatch or have a wall clock around you. Although the countdown will even be showing on the screen for you. Okay, the countdown will be showing on the screen so that you can know what you're doing. You can actually finish the exam before the 1 hour mark. You can actually finish the exam before the 1 hour mark if you know how to work with your time. Really, you can finish the exam within 1 hour mark. And again, because I've been saying if you're able to read well, you pass the exam. I am not trying to scare us, but I just want us to be able to prepare very well for the exam. The exam is tough for the people that will not study very well for the exam. The exam will be tough, really. Um, I could remember when we went to Singapore, 5 of us went from Nigeria and 5 of us wrote the exam. I tell you, just 3 of us passed the exam. 3 of us passed. The other 2 guys, they wrote the exam 3 times in Singapore and they failed 3 times. Not because these people are not vast with all the tools or because they are not vast with Office 365 and all that, but the 21st century learning design can actually throw one off balance if you do not understand it very, very well. 21st century learning design can throw you off balance. So that is why Wednesday training is very, very important, because we're going to look at the 21st century learning design. We'll look at each of the skills and we'll look at the rubrics, what you need to understand as per each of the rubrics. So we need to understand each of the rubrics, understand level 1, what it means, level 2, level 3, level 4 for collaboration, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for self-regulation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for use of ICT and all that. We need to understand that, because that is covers like 80% of the exam. Okay. The last thing that I'll be talking about today is the exam dates. The exam date is flexible. That is why it is remote. It is flexible. if you anytime you're ready for the exam, just let us know so that we can plan ahead. There are applications that you need to download before the exam day so that you can download the exam. We can do the setup together before the time that you feel you want to write the exam. And the exam day, you stay in your house, you write the exam. Okay. So you're not traveling anywhere. You stay in your house and you write the exam. Then after the exam, you see your scores almost immediately. And if you're able to score 700 above, then you have your certificates. If you're able to score, if you score below 700, that is a better luck next time. So I know for some of us that will be participating here, we won't fail the exam. The last cohort, do we have anybody that failed? I think maybe just one. I think just one, at most two people out of about uh, 30, 40 there about that wrote the exam. So maybe just one or two people. And the two people really, they themselves, they knew that they didn't prepare well enough for the exam. So we need to go over the study guide very well. We'll need to watch the video and get familiar with how they structure their questions because it is very, very important. Some of the questions, you have more than one correct answer. You know, it's not the kind of questions that you will just see only one correct answer there. No, some you have two correct answers. They will ask you to select all that apply. And there are some that will be just matching. So that is the reason why we need to watch the video and get ourselves used to the way they ask their questions. It is very, very important. Watch the video, get used to how they ask their questions so that when you are writing the exam, you already know what to expect. And lastly for today, time. We need to learn how to manage our time. Very, very key. Don't go all out reading everything. You can't read all questions, read all options, read all case scenarios, and expect to finish within that 1 hour. A lot of stories are out there. They will put up stories and you read and read and read. So I suggest just read the question first before checking the case so that when you're reading the case, you know what you're looking for. That's one strategy that we need to adopt. And again, anytime you're ready for the exam, it's that flexible. Let us know when you're writing your exam so that we can plan together and you can sit in your house and write the exam. So those are the things I want to share with us this evening. On Wednesday, we're going to look at 21st century learning design. It's very, very important so that we'll see what you need to look out for. Even when you're taking the course on MEC or on Learn, you're just not taking the course without knowing what they call area of concentration in school, the area of concentration. So we need that area of concentration. So we need to share with us the area of concentration. So that'll be all for this evening. Uh, we'll save the video and share with other people that couldn't join today. But on Wednesday, hopefully everybody will be able to join us. So I'll pause again. If we have one or two questions before we call it a day today, if you have one or two questions, you can raise up your hand. Then I'll ask us to unmute ourselves and ask the question. I need you guys to say something, or even if you are not asking question, you can unmute yourself and talk so that I'll know you are still there. I know I wasn't talking to myself alone. Okay, you can go ahead, Vic. Hello. So I need you to talk, or somebody must talk. Okay, Aviola.
Okay, apologies. I didn't know I was muted. Well done.
Okay.
Please, I'm asking that is there a duration we should take these courses? Let me just say, is there a specific time we'll start taking the exam? So I know I have to practice or study all of these courses between now and a particular period of time. That will help me to be focused. Maybe there's a timeline for study and we are expected to take our exams by so date. So if I have that, it will help me to stay focused or just bear in mind that I have an exam coming ahead.
Okay, although for now we didn't set a deadline. It's still on rolling basis now. So anytime you're ready, if you want to write the exam tomorrow or Monday now, you can write the exam on Monday. But we'll still come up with like a deadline for us to write the exam so that we won't just leave this open till forever. We did that the last time, and I tell you, I didn't like what happened at the end of the day because people were just like, we're not writing the exam again, or I'll wait for another 2 weeks or another 1 week. And we ended up spending 3-4 months with the people trying to fix them, and it affected my time really because I had to like be available for like 3 months. But at this moment, we have a lot going on now. So I'll work with Mr. Kwefa to actually say, okay, once we are done with the training on Wednesday, you have between so period and so period for you to write your exam. But as it stands today, we haven't decided on that deadline. But you can start writing your exam anytime from tomorrow if you're ready for the exam. If you feel you're ready for the exam, why not? Just let us know you want to write the exam tomorrow. Okay. Abiola Fulayo, you omitted earlier. Maybe you want to ask a question.
Yes, this is the same question I was about to ask. That how flexible is it?
Yeah, it's flexible, but at the same time, I will appreciate if maybe what we'll do actually do is we'll just tell you the available days so that I won't be on my toes 7 days a week. One person will not say I want to write on Monday 8 a.m. and another person is writing Tuesday 9 p.m. Another person is writing Wednesday 4 p.m.
will also help us to plan.
So that we'll say a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Monday, so we'll come up with the dates. Thank you for this
All
suggestion.
right.
We'll come up with that date. It will even help us too, because the last time, it was an ambush. So I was just like available every time of the day. So we'll probably just tell you if you want to write your exam, fix it between so and so period on a so and so date. But we have a lot of options really. We have a lot of options. We know many of us are working. Our time is kind of really fixed. So we will look at the schedule and say, okay, you have like maybe 3 times a week for you to write your exam. We'll give you like option, and 10 people can write about the same time since you are using your individual system. So it doesn't matter if all of you want to write, let's say on a Wednesday and between 6 and 7, all of you can write your exam about that particular time. So it's a wonderful suggestion. We'll take that and we'll get back to you. But if you're ready tomorrow or you want to even write it this evening, there's no problem. Any other question? Okay, fine, are you there? We have 6 more minutes, really. Okay, find information you want to share before.
All right, thank you so much. That was very resourceful, sir. And the questions too came at the right time. And the only thing is that I'm a bit, let me say, shocked or disappointed that, well, at the end of the day, we have 4 people. It's okay. We are going to send the recording to Ross. Okay, nothing really to talk about. We'll talk about other things on our WhatsApp group. Well done, sir.
All right. Okay. So thank you all. I'm stopping the recording now so that we can share